Hello. I'm gonna try making some hot chocolate bombs because unless you are not on social media, then you've seen them everywhere. They're very hot right now, and Amazon sells them for $10 each. Which I thought was kind of crazy. In order to make them, you typically need one of those round silicone molds. It should be 2.5 inches in diameter. But I am not super keen on buying things that might not get used very often, or they're only for like one recipe. I hate that so much. So I decided to use my silicone cupcake molds and try to figure out a way to make hot chocolate bombs with these. And if you don't know what hot chocolate bombs are, they're basically like tempered chocolate around a loose, I don't know, Kinder surprise of hot chocolate goodness like marshmallows, hot cocoa powder, and other fun stuff. And when you pour the hot milk onto it, it kind of punctures a hole in the bomb and the whole mug explodes with the contents. And everybody likes them. They're very, what's the word? Like Insta famous? I don't know. So I'm gonna do this. It might not turn out very good because you have to temper chocolate, which is tricky. I've only tempered chocolate successfully once, and I wanna say I tried maybe 3 times in the past. So if it doesn't work, then you can always keep the not tempered chocolate in the refrigerator, and it should be fine. Regardless, it'll taste fine, so don't worry about that. If you want to do this as well, you can maybe find some parchment paper, some wax paper, anything that won't stick to hard chocolate once it's solidified will work, if you don't already have some silicone cupcake molds. Okay, so I have these semi-sweet baking chips, which is dark chocolate. And the weird thing about, well, I guess not weird, but the thing about tempering chocolate is you have to do it in pieces. We're going to be seeding the chocolate, which means you'll melt part of your quantity first, and then you're going to add already solidified chocolate to the melted quantity. The temperature you're going to be melting it to and then adding to varies depending on the chocolate. This is from Godiva. They say that you're going to melt the chocolate until it's between 90 and 95 degrees, and it should not exceed 110 degrees. If you don't have a thermometer, don't even try this because you're gonna cry. It's not gonna work. I'm not using a recipe, which may be a mistake, but don't care right now. I'm gonna do 1 cup of chocolate total. The Godiva recipe told me to take 1/3 of what I had out for seeding, so I'm gonna just measure out a cup of this. This is 1/3. I'm gonna save that to seed it. I'm going to microwave the chocolate to melt it. You can also do a double boiler system with a smallish pot filled with water and then this sitting on top of it so that the heat kind of melts it. That's slower, and I ain't got time for all that. Do anything. Don't put it in for too long. I'm not patient by nature, so that may be why I ruin the tempered chocolate quite often. But it's better to go kind of like in smaller increments, or if you want to change the power settings, go a little bit lower. It's been a while since I tempered chocolates. I don't remember how to do this, so. Got some of them melted. The Godiva recipe says to melt them for 15 to 30 second increments and stir between. I don't think I mentioned this earlier, nor do I think you're going to have an easy time finding chocolate that says this, but you should be doing using chocolate that's 30% cocoa or cocoa butter, whatever it lists, because that is kind of the ingredient in here that's doing the melting and making the tempering happen properly. And my generic bags of Kroger's chocolate never say what percentage it is. You want to melt the chocolate until it's like 110 or so, 100. and then let it cool and keep stirring it until it gets down to 90 to 95. Actually, I think I'm just about at that limit. Then you pour in your seeded chocolate and you keep stirring until it gets down to, for dark chocolate, 85 to 87, for milk and white chocolate, 80 to 82, which is why I said you need a thermometer. I don't think the seeded chocolate's gonna melt, but I've noticed that the chocolate is tempering when I took out the thermometer. Let's see, what is it? 83? So that's at least promised 85. Maybe it will melt a little bit more. Or maybe I just don't have the upper body strength to do this. Ugh. This is why hot chocolate bombs are $10 each. I thought I was a strong, independent woman who didn't need no man, but it turns out I need someone to stir chocolate for me. So the chocolate's tempering. You can see here where it got on the counter. It kind of hardened up already, so I'm happy. If you want to test your chocolate, you kind of stick like a little fork tine into it, smear it on the counter, and then you're supposed to wait like 3 to 5 minutes, and if it kind of glosses over and gets hard, then you've tempered properly. And honestly, if it's tempering okay, I don't care that much about the lumps of chocolate chips if we can't get the rest of it working. Okay, so I think the chocolate's tempered. It's kind of cooling. There's still lumps of chocolate chips in it, but I don't care. You can turn them inside out and kind of roll it in. That might be messy, and I have one of these basting spoons, so I'm gonna try basting it right side out. Oh my God, that was a mistake. This is not easy. Actually, rolling it probably would be easier. Look at all this chaos. This is kind of what it's looking like. I'm gonna pop it in my thing. Normally, when I see recipes for tempering chocolate, they say just to leave it on the counter until it dries or hardens. One recipe I found that I used as well for caramels said to let it cool on the counter for 10 minutes, then pop it in the fridge for 10 minutes, and then take it out and let it finish cooling out here. So what I'm gonna do for this recipe, because I need this to be kind of tempered, but not fully solid, so I can close the what are these called? Cupcake liners. I'm gonna leave it on the counter for 10 minutes. Then I'm gonna fill it up with my contents. And then I'm gonna pop it in the fridge.
I don't know if we should be giving advice to people on the internet.
No, it's funny. And besides,
this should be on one of those Nailed It Fail Army videos.
This is what it's, yes, it's what it is. All right, I'm doing it. Okay, so our chocolate has tempered for about 10 minutes, or sat, I guess, for 10 minutes. I'm kind of scared now that I should have greased the cupcake liners. So we'll see how that turns out. I'm gonna get my inside contents ready. So what I'm doing is, our regular old hot chocolate mix says to do a 1/4 cup of cocoa per mug, but that's insane. So I'm gonna do, I think I should do half of that, which is 2 tablespoons, but that still looks like it's too much to fit in the, I'm just gonna do 1 tablespoon. Let's see. That's good, right? There's chocolate on the shell. You don't need that much. There's espresso here. There's, of course, marshmallows. One thing I was looking for but was not going to buy just for this, out of principle, it was peppermint.
That's a lot of espresso.
It's a lot of espresso? Oh, crap. Let's separate it. Get 2 espresso ones in here.
What's a serving of espresso on the espresso thing?
A tablespoon.
Okay.
So that's good. It's a teaspoon.
Half a teaspoon is probably fine.
Cinnamon sugar, which we keep already mixed because we make a lot of snickerdoodles and king cake. If you want to keep a mix, a good ratio is 8 teaspoons of cinnamon to a half cup of sugar. And I'm just gonna eyeball this because why not? You definitely want to put sugar in if you're doing cinnamon so you don't accidentally cinnamon challenge yourself and choke. And so my trick isn't going to work because I was going to actually close these with these clips and I waited too long. Sucks to be me. We're going to do 10 minutes in the fridge on this and then we'll take it out. It should be like done. And then we'll do the putting each side together. Scared about the most was tempering the chocolate, but it looks like I did fine on that. And now I'm scared about this part, but it's all right, right? I have some leftover chocolate, so I was gonna just dip it here and then connect them. Other recipes say if you do use a circular shell, that you will take the unfilled side, warm it like on a hot skillet or something, and then connect them. That's good, especially if you don't have extra chocolate, but I had extra chocolate, so. All right, so we're gonna put this one here for now. We're gonna try to undo this one and pray to the flying spaghetti monster that it works. No. All right, so I'm taking them out. I'm actually pouring the contents into empty silicone cupcake liners because that's probably a better thing to do. Wait till after the chocolate tempers all the way since what I wanted to do didn't work. Okay, and then just go slowly because things are gonna fly off. You're seeing it happen, but hopefully not too much flies off. And now I'm worried, because that's just how I am, that this isn't gonna temper because I don't see it like hardening on the sides, so I don't think I tempered that correctly. What's tempering, by the way? What's the definition?
It's a certain crystalline structure of the cocoa that is solid at room temperature and solid and shiny and crisp. So
if you temper wrong, just don't feed these to other people. Keep them at your house and keep them in the fridge. Don't try selling them on Facebook if you tempered them wrong. Okay, it's the moment of truth, and I'm actually excited because they did temper, even the melted part when we were connecting the two. So I didn't label them, so I don't know which hot chocolate bomb is which. So I'm just going to pop them in. Hope that whichever flavor is here is the ones that we liked, because I don't think Scott likes marshmallows.
Who doesn't like marshmallows?
You didn't like marshmallows in your hot chocolate. We discussed this.
I don't need them. Oh. I don't think they add anything to it, but
they add something. Okay, now we have to heat up the milk. So I think mine's cinnamon, and I'm going to take a drink. It's rather hot. This is good. Okay. This turned out better than I expected. I'm going to put instructions for tempering chocolate in the description of the video, but everything else you guys can figure out because you're smart people.